Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh video. This time, Konami has given us news about Quarter Century Stampede. So, it comes out next April, and there's some things that they told us that are quite interesting. So obviously, they give us about cards that are confirmed to be in here: Miscellaneous Saurus, Cross Crusader, Cyber Dragon Affinity, Full Ross, Chamber Dragon Maid, Raging Phoenix, Trap Dust Shoots, and Metamorphosis. Big hits. All of them are bangers. Now, as you know, this is the 25th anniversary for the third year in a row by Konami. Great job. And as such, this is most likely the last time that we're ever going to get Quarter Century Secret Rares, including Alliance Insight. So, with these cards that they have confirmed here, I decided to do a little wish list. It's almost the Christmas season. I am going to be down on my knees begging Konami, saying, please, these cards, just reprint them. So, as you know, with Bonanza earlier this year, they also included cards in the Nostalgia Pool that were also banned. Things like Dimension Fusion, Imperial Order, of course, have gotten reprints in the Platinum Secret Rare and the Quarter Century Secret Rare. So this also shows that Konami is also willing to reprint banned cards to help out older formats like GOAT and Edison, which is those two widely represented as one of the formats that people have been playing. And as such, I do got quite a list. Now, my list isn't what I think it's going to be in there. It's more of a cope list, because as you know, maintaining the cope is top priority. So, first and foremost, this is quite a shock to all of you, but I do have Victory Dragon on here as my first one. For one reason, it is a match winner card as a prize card. However, with Victory Dragon, it is also the only one on the Forbidden and Limited list. It does not, on its card text, it does not have that this card cannot be used in a duel. And as such, I do think it'd be nice to see Victory Dragon here, reprinted in Platinum Secret Order QCR. I think it'd be nice, it'd be cool. Gives it the respect that it is of being the first match winner, having this kind of luxury, of course. They might not do it. It's probably one of the most obscure ones, but I thought it'd be nice. Right. Next up, Royal Oppression. As you know, IO got reprinted, so why not Royal Oppression? This does help out Edison, right? I do think it is at 1, but hey, I'm just saying. If they are willing to reprint these cards, and a lot of these cards don't have that many rare printings, right? So this helps out a lot of collectors, or it helps out a lot of players who are trying to get into the other formats that we have, all these fan-made formats. Well, I wouldn't say Edison being one, but as I'm saying, it helps out these collectors, or it helps out these players that want to play the older formats, of course, or to collect these older cards that are not in circulation anymore, right? I do think Royal Oppression is a good pick. Of course, it only has the 4 here that we have: Dark Beginnings, Legacy, Darkness, Champion Pack, and Gold Series 4. Right, in 2011, it has been 13 years since Royal Oppression has been printed, so do think it'd be nice. And of course, look at that price. Yeesh. Next up, Dimensional Prison. Now, this one is a weird one, but I do think it doesn't have a whole lot of printings as much as it has a lot more printings than the last two, but this one I do think I would like to have a QCR, as it is one of the more memorable traps played, and I do think that it deserves the respect that it has. I also think that it would look really good as a QCR. I mean, just look at this right here, man. Both of them locked in. You see this? This would be a great one right here. Great card right here. I got Delinquent Duel next. Now, this card, I don't think this card should come back in any way, but I do think that it would be nice in the Nostalgia Pool, right? It only has the 4 printings. I mean, how, like, look at this, right? Super, Ultra, Secret, and then it got reprinted back in Ultra, but it's still banned, of course. I do think this is a very, very, very good card to have in the Nostalgia Pack. Because excluding this one here, right? Let's exclude this one. 12 years, got from Spell Roost to Legendary Collection Kaiba, and then 6 years from now, if or 7 years, if it be in 2025, right? Since its last print, I do think that if cards like Metamorphosis and Trap Dust Shoot can get a shot, I do think the Liquid Duo should get one as well. Now, I do got Gladiator Beast Retiari. This is a very important card in Edison for Glad Beast. It is one of the best cards to manipulate graveyards, right? Problem. 2 printings. A Secret in Crossroads of Chaos, and it was a rare in Turbo Pack 3. Even though it was a rare in Turbo Pack 3, it is still... Oh, whoopsies. Let me just, click the wrong one. It is still $23 for a rare in Turbo Pack 3. Goodness gracious, man. I mean, like, look at this. Look at this. Right? Come on, man. Now, I do think the reason that it warranted a price jump around this, somewhere around August, July, and such, going to 20s, is I believe that was when they announced the new Gladiator Beast support. Don't quote me on that. And so, which is why it went up. But still, this is still a very important card for Edison, and I would like to have it reprinted for that. Again, a lot of these cards aren't in circulation anymore, and because of that, we kind of need them to keep those kind of formats alive. Because the reason people play Edison is because it's a much cheaper format. Granted that you're not playing the max rarity stuff, of course, right? And this helps out the players that's like, hey, we got special bling on these cards, but at the same time, like, hey, I can play Glad Beast and Edison, you know. I got Black but Drago here. This is for the Gemini deck in Edison, and we only got 1 copy of it from Stardust Overdrive, 2009. 15 years since this card, you have to get a reprint. This is one of the most important cards in that deck, and I'm just saying, I would love to see it in the nostalgia pool, right? I would love them to keep continuing this nostalgia pool, because if they keep going from, like, say, DM to GX to 5Ds, like continue off from 5Ds and then do like Zexal and then maybe Arc 5, right? Be great. Obviously, you know, put this in the 5Ds era kind of stuff. The nostalgia pool be great. Same with Tempest Magician. However, I don't think Tempest Magician should be banned, but it is played in Edison as such. Only a Secret and Super when she was released, but this one's a little iffy because it is. I'm pretty sure this was part of an FTK, so don't know, but I would like to see it. I do got Magical Android, again, another one of the more important ones in Edison, of course. Only got the 3 printings here, a Super, a Rare, and an Ultra. Still expensive prices too, and it is one of the more important synchros. Helps with life point gains and stuff. Right, you need 600, which isn't a lot, but hey, it adds up because it is at 2400 attack, which is pretty good, right? And this card's always just been pricey. It's been like $20 something for the past year, so it'd be nice to get another reprint. Same with Iron Chain Dragon. Iron Chain Dragon isn't as pricey as Magical Android, but it was only a rare in Crossroads of Chaos, so because of that, it's also really good synchro too to include. Whereas Mono Yu-Gi-Oh! With Graveyard Manipulation, you don't want to potentially give your opponents a plus off of that, because What if they milled 3-tier names or something like that, right? Iron Chain, but back then it didn't. It really kind of messes up your opponent because their next draw could have been something that would have helped them swing the game over, right? Still, 3 cards at the top of your deck to graveyard is really good though. Back then, and it is not an effect that I would be. I will be shivering in my timbers if I have to deal with this Iron Chain Dragon every turn, right? I do got Power Tool Dragon and Lifestream Dragon here. Now, these two are here, right? Now, we did get the Hidden Arsenal Chapter 1 reprint of Power Tool, but not Lifestream. Now, the only reason I say this is these are the last 2 Signer Dragons for 5Ds to get a QCR. We never got Lifestream here in the US dub because I believe 4Kids at the time was dubbing it, and because of that, schedules conflicted, so we never really got Lifestream Dragon here. But these 2 are the last Signer Dragons to get a QCR, as you can see. So it makes sense that, hey, you know, if they start to finish off the 5Ds era, be nice to give these guys the last bit of them, right? Because Stardust has one, Red Dragon Archfiend has one, Black Rose Dragon has one, Black Winged Dragon has one, Ancient Fairy Dragon has one. So it'd be nice for these 2 to get them. Now, I'm probably pretty sure that Power Tool will get it, more likely than Lifestream. But I mean, Lifestream is it would be nice if Lifestream got one too, because it is the, if you don't know, it is the true form of Power Tool Dragon. Next up, I do got Gachi Gentetsu and Granosaurus here. These were the first XZs to ever come out here, to ever be released alongside with Utopia in that structure deck. These 2 are not the best XZs at the time. I do think they deserve their spotlight, as they're the first ones, right? They're the younks, and as such, they do deserve their time. They did have their time in the spotlight. Granosaurus did get a retrain recently, which is nice. Gachi Gentetsu did not, and it'd be nice to see him again, right? He'd be a very funny sprite tech though, but I remember people talking about this, but it wasn't good. I do got Gagaga Cowboy here as well, as part of the Exexo era. How many times have people lost to Cowboy? Just doing 800 out of nowhere, right? I do think this deserves a spot here in the Nostalgia Pack because, hey, Cowboy for Game was a pretty good turn back then. All the way back in 13, 14, you know. So I do think Cowboy should get some recognition as well. It also is a pretty nice card though. Pretty good card right now. You might be able to play this card right now. I will say that. I do have, whoopsies, kind of dragged it out by accident. I do have Wind Up Zen Maids, one of the first really good XZs that we got back then. Unfortunately, its name, Wind Up, is part of that notorious deck where they would Hunter loop you with Zen Maidi and Hunter. It was very, very bad. I almost killed Yu-Gi-Oh! From what I remember. But Zen Maze is one of the best cards, one of the best XZs at the time, because you can 2 level 3s, right? Torgon and a Sangan, overlay these 2, and Zen Maze will just stare at your opponent, you know, and your opponent trying to get rid of it can't, because it just detach, right? And then if your opponent sets anything, right, it's a mandatory pop, which is really good. It's really good. This was one of the best XZs, and I think that revolutionized how good XZ kind of had to be at the time, right? Where even if it just sat there, right, where it can't be destroyed, right? The fact that it is 2 pops that your opponent has to find a way to deal with without crashing over it, right, was great. Now I do got some last few picks here. These ones are going to be modern, as you saw. They did confirm things like newer cards like Fualos, Chamber, Raging Phoenix, right? If we're getting Fualos, hey, why not we get Perulian too, right? It's kind of a long shot But it'd be nice to have as well because, hey, these cards are game warping cards that help determine the format they're in. And I do think that they all, because being the ridiculous price point that they are, it'd be nice if they be a lot more affordable, because in a vacuum they are game warping, but it isn't as warping as everyone has access to it, right? Some unlike Max C, of course, but that's different. I do have Magical Musketeer Caspar. A lot of the Magical Musketeers haven't been reprinted at all. I'm kind of putting Caspar, and I think his name was Starkid. I think it's Starkid. But essentially a lot of the Magical Musketeers haven't gotten reprints, and I do think as if they want to help out this deck, right? Print out, reprint. Sorry. Reprint like all the stuff, because none of them got reprinted at all. It's either Kid Brave or Starfire. It's one of those two. But it'd be nice to have these cards reprinted again, because right now it is in the meta strategies to play as we speak. Be nice, right? Yeah, it got printed in Dual Overload, right? But like, let's look at Spirit Warriors, right? Right? You got Magical Musket and the Weather archetypes and some whatever that other deck is. Don't matter. Oh, the Six Sams. Sorry, Six Sams, right? Right? I think it was Starfire. Yeah, it was Starfire, right? Right? Secret and Ultra. We go back. Let's go to Kid Brave, right? Only Super, right? So it'd be nice to have these cards reprinted again, right? Like, for example, in Bonanza, we got Thunder Dragon Colossus, right? And Dark, right? Which are integral to those strategies. I think, we get, Starfire and maybe Caspar. It'd be great to have. Next up, I do have Magma Hut and Jewish Worm here. Now, Magma Hut isn't as expensive. It is also at 1, but Jewish Worm I would appreciate. These are excluding like Ash Blossom imprints and stuff. These are probably the next hand traps that like I've seen a lot of play. A lot of decks, right? Or a lot of the best decks right now are light or dark, and because of that, these guys are just generally good whenever a good light or dark deck is around. It would be nice to have these as reprints, but again, I am not Konami's R&D team. I am not their main ambassador. It'd be weird if I was, but again, these are just all cards I would love to see in Stampede. Now, there is one card I did mention that everyone's kind of expecting. Elemental Hero Air Neos. So, whoops, that's Nose, not Neos. Right. This card will always live in infamy as, why haven't we gotten a reprint of Air Neos when all the other Neos has at least a single reprint? It's because of copyright. It's because of its name, stuff like that. Right? When they confirmed that the Nostalgia pool includes picks from our recent online poll asking duels what cards they want to see us as QCRs, right? I know damn well most of the community said Air Neos, right? And then of course there's the small faction of Ruxin fans. Shout out to Ruxin for getting Petite Moth in. Shout out to them. So the big question is, if Konami is willing, can he do Air Neos? Now, of course, they can't really print this, because if there is a big significant reason they can't, then Air Neos is off the table. Now, if, like they did this year, where they announced the cards, like as in with picture previews, the 5 cards in the Nostalgia pool, where they show off little pictures of what they are and a little caption with the little funny caption on them, be cool. If we see Air Neos, the entire Yu-Gi-Oh community will be roaring with chants. Understand that. Now, do I think Air Neos will make it? Probably not. Don't quote me on that, right? Prove me wrong. Call me an idiot later when we do get the reviews for it. But again, it would be nice to have Air Neos come back. Anywho, thank you all for watching my terrible wish list. Feel free to let me know what you guys want. I'll see you guys then.